I know that Pal Buddhist School has gone to online classrooms. And what are the major differences between what you've experienced in Pal Buddhist School's online classroom and other online classrooms that you've heard about?
Yeah, so I'm really proud to be part of Pal Buddhist School because I think we're doing fantastic lessons online. I've heard from a lot of my friends who work in both private and public schools that they're just sending out work booklets to students who complete them independently. Our approach is completely different. So what we've been doing is to teach students online. So they log in the morning and do their roll call online. They have their video and their microphone on the whole time. So we're communicating all day with students on their normal timetable. They're even doing things like assembly and sport online. So they're not missing out on anything at all. The lessons are going ahead just as they usually would be in the classroom. We're still interacting all the time. We're getting instant feedback. And they're getting up and active. So every Wednesday, for instance, we do sport. Students are in sport groups and we each log in and complete sport activities live. And students are really, really loving it. The feedback's really positive. They're saying they're really enjoying still being able to interact with their peers and their teachers and meeting all their educational needs. So yeah, it's fantastic.
So have you needed to change the way you teach online classes?
Yeah, so there's obviously got to be some changes with teaching online. For instance, if students are doing group work in the classroom, there has to be some form of breakout, but you can create different video meetings where they all chat with one another. Some of the more practical experiments do have to be adapted a little bit, but they can still all be done online. So I know that there's other teachers in the school have even done science experiments online with just things from their, kitchen cupboards, and kids are really loving it. They're not missing out at all. So obviously things need to be changed a little bit, but it's just adjusting the learning for their needs.
So how would you, as a teacher, in the classroom, you can see the students, and if one's not concentrating, you can go, yep, that student's not concentrating. How do you do that online?
Yeah, so it's easy to think that if students are online, they can be really distracted and they're not completing their work because you can't stand and watch them like you would in the classroom. But it's really not the case for us as a 4D learning school. You can check their books live. So I can see what they're writing just by logging into a student's book and seeing have they completed this work at the moment. And I can talk to them straight over the camera and be like, okay, you haven't quite done that at the moment. We need to get that done. The students are also really seeing it as a challenge and they're really thriving in that online learning environment, which is great. But there hasn't been any problems with a lack of interest. In fact, students, I did a survey on my Year 8 year group, and I was expecting some students to maybe say they'd probably prefer to be at school, but the students in my group suggested that they believed that they were getting at least 90% of the same outcomes in an online learning environment that they would be in the classroom, because they really aren't missing out at all. They're still completing work just as they would be at school. They're still collaborating with their peers. They're still getting to go to assembly and seeing what's happening around the school. So I think that our school and our students have really enjoyed online learning, and that's probably a credit to us having 4D learning prior to the coronavirus situation. So the school was able to easily transition into that, and we've had great leadership from Mr. Powell and Miss Lamb and support in implementing online learning. And our parents and community have been really supportive in assisting us in having students learn from home and supporting their children in engaging in online learning. So it's been great.
Yeah, so the transition was quite easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't hard at all. So if we were using really traditional methods like a book and pen, it would probably be really hard for students, because obviously I can't look at their exercise book when they're at home. But having all these facilities, students only needed to engage in a few days of training at school, and they were really supported in doing that. And then they could go home and use the facilities that they'd already been using. So they weren't relearning, they already knew it. And it was just a matter of assisting students in, okay, if the teacher's not standing with you, how could you troubleshoot some issues? And we've had very, very few issues with technology or anything not working. Students are really savvy because they've been using this technology for so long.
I know Mr. Powell says that the technology is only a really tiny part of the 4D online classroom. It's actually the people that actually make it really happen. So how has this whole transition impacted the staff culture?
Yeah, I think people have been really happy to meet the challenge. Obviously, it's different not coming in and seeing different staff every day, but we still engage in all of our meetings online. So it's just like you were all in the room with one another. We collaborate via team chats online. We still do everything that we would be doing at school. It's just through a computer rather than being there physically. But certainly I don't feel like I'm missing out through the computer. I still feel like I'm engaging in the same professional learning, the same collaboration with staff as I would if I were on site. So it's been really good.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Miss Feeney, for your time today.
Yeah. Oh, well, have a good day. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.